Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now and you're new to my channel, I welcome you with open arms. I'm Aspie and I'm your girl tonight, and I'm here to share with you all some of my life stories with Shyness syndrome, OCD and the like, along with also giving you some tips and tricks along the way, regardless what it may be. Hopefully that will be of value to and use to you guys. Just to bear in mind also with these tips and tricks or tips and advice that I give you on how to manage your everyday personal struggles of your mental health disorders or whatever it may be, that some of the stuff that I do may work for me but not for you, and vice versa, but it's just a matter of give and take and hopefully respecting each other. And I do clearly suggest, maybe just as a friendly reminder, just try some of these tips and advice or tricks tips and tricks or methods, shall we say, on how we go about it. Also, just to bear in mind, also what I also do is mental health and awareness versus basically the Beauty from Ashes series of basically talking about also just your everyday personal struggles, of messages of hope, clarity, to give you clarity and understanding, as well as hopefully just some kind of peace between you of what you're going through in your personal everyday struggles, regardless what it may be. Here, say example wise, you're having problems with your relationship, or just want to give up hope and whatever else that's running around inside you and whatnot. But I hope that some of these messages will just enlighten you and be a shining light for you when you're going through these struggles. Also, I do some other various things on the channel at the moment, as you probably have seen. If not, I clearly suggest nicely just to pop in and have a look around to get a minimum of what to know about me or not. It's all a give and take. Hopefully we can socially engage with one another one way or another by just private messaging each other and just supporting each other if you guys got a channel or not, and whatever else, because like I said, I want this to be user friendly as possible. So it has come to my attention right now, basically I'm doing some of the mental health and awareness series. As always, there's going to be a lot of them. I humbly apologize, but some of these really needs to be addressed regardless where you guys are heading. If you are going through these struggles of these mental health kind of conditions that I share, regardless what they may be, like I say in every video as a disclaimer out here, is I'm no medical professional doctor. Basically I'm just your normal everyday Joe blog, sharing my life stories, how I cope with it all, and hopefully maybe if you see any warning signs and symptoms along the way of these mental health disorders, please seek professional help and advice with someone that you care about, or even for yourself for safe keeping, basically, so you can prevent yourself from self-harming or whatever it may be, because we need to live a healthy life. So obviously this one's, especially tonight, is going to be how to recognize social anxiety disorder, or how to recognize SAD. As I said before, some of these clinical terms will be abbreviated down, and hopefully you'll be getting a clearer understanding to what I'm saying and all that based on these abbreviations. If you need basically me to just word it, just let me know in the comments below, or just comment below also feedback otherwise of how I'm doing with these for you guys, and hopefully let me know if it's helped you in any way, or help someone else of if you've been sharing these videos. So I would recommend you guys to do it again anyway, sharing these videos around, because as I said, I want to create an awareness and understanding versus removing the stigma and stereotyping, which I believe I am doing already, fulfilling what I have aimed to do most of the time for this channel. So this one's basically method 4, identifying SAD in children. But before we begin, as a clear reminder also, most of these mental health awareness series that you may see on my channel will be broken down into bit by bit, so you can follow it through easier and to step by step if you just go by it step by step, because obviously if you miss a step, you'll be wondering, say, what have I missed? So enough further ado, as I said, let's begin this before I run out of time. So method 4, identifying SAD in children. Number 1 is be aware that children can develop SAD. It's a well-known fact that obviously it doesn't always present in basically adolescents or adults. It can present itself in children as well for SAD. Like adults, however, that has social phobias, regardless what it may be, children with SAD are also, afraid of being judged or criticized. that they may try to find ways to avoid certain types of socialization situations that involves them in social gatherings, regardless of what it may be. Bear in mind, though, with these common statements that I hear about, it's just a phase, or it's just their bad behaviour flaring up. It's not, because obviously we need to remove that stigma and stereotyping kind of critical thinking that we do in our everyday thinking, because obviously it's not. There is something that is underlying it, and we need to feel free for ourselves to actually investigate further. Children with SAD, however, might also make the statements that can indicate their fears. Okay, some of the statements that we hear are quite common. Obviously, we may say it from time to time too, however, which is the what if statements. It's a given, obviously, for many of us, but then again, with this what if statements of whatever we may be thinking or feeling at that given moment in time, it will create more self-doubt and worry and insecurities. Everything else of the negative side of things will come into play with it. So the what if statements that you may hear of from a child, or even from yourself, what you may have said in the past is like, what if I look stupid in an outfit? What if the things I'm wearing or how I speak will make people look at me strangely? What if I say something wrong in the first place? What if I totally mess up? I know for a fact in the past, basically, I've been trying to cope with this social anxiety disorder and removing these what if statements and putting in positive affirmations. So basically my tip here is, obviously, when it comes down to it, if you feel that these statements of the what ifs or whatever it may be that leads you to doubt or have this negativity clouding over you, maybe to try and do some positive affirmations, or even maybe some sort of music that will hype you up, or whatever it may be that will help you along the way. So number 2 is distinguish between SAD and shyness in children. Okay, as I said before, many people have misconceived or misunderstood what shyness and all these other definitions I've clearly addressed in social anxiety in general of these definitions. So I clearly suggest that you guys, if you haven't done so already, maybe view some of those social anxiety series just to get a better understanding what I'm talking about here. Because obviously, similar to SAD in adults and adolescents, however, childhood SAD is more than just shyness, however. Okay, it's a well-known fact it's normal for a child to feel anxious in new situations or new surroundings. But after exposure to some of the new situations that they're in and getting support from parents and peers, teachers or whoever, they can succeed on a higher level. SAD does interfere, however, with a child's ability to be social. Children with SAD may do things like avoiding school, not answering questions in class, not even wanting to participate in classroom activities, or they may avoid parties or anything of the like of that does involve with them socializing, engaging with their peers or parents alike. Children who have SAD suffers from an extreme fear of criticism by their own peers as well as adults. It's a given. It's like that with anyone. This fear often will interfere with day-to-day activities because children will do things to avoid the anxiety-producing situation. Some children, however, will cry, scream, hide, or do other things to avoid an anxiety-producing situation. Some children also may have physical reactions to anxiety, such as the common symptoms that you'll see in adults: shaking, sweating, shortness of breath. They're struggling to breathe, obviously. Their heart is racing. And then obviously they may think the worst, similarly to us adults, thinking that something's really going on in their bodies. These symptoms may last for more than 6 months to be considered, however, to be SAD. Many people may mistake SAD to take only 1 or 2 days, just like that, to have these clinical signs and symptoms. But sometimes with the clinical signs and symptoms of SAD or any other mental health disorders, it does take a while to obviously coexist with another underlying factor or causes or whatever it may be, or the certain triggers that will trigger off certain mental health disorders, regardless what it may be. Children who are just shy may sometimes just tend to try and avoid everyday situations or activities. They may even have mild anxiety about certain situations that they choose to ignore. will not participate in. Is a given, flee fright results. But the anxiety is not as extreme or as long lasting as it is with SAD children, however. Shyness will not interfere with a child's happiness in the same way that SAD will, however. Just bear in mind. A classic example to illustrate with you all, it might be hard for a child to give a book report, okay, that has, SAD, but then again, a shy student can still do it when and if necessary. A child with SAD might also refuse to do an assignment that is due to extreme fear, or even just skip school to avoid it. This might be misinterpreted as acting out or being a bad student, but the root cause is underlying it right blunt in front of us. It's plain pure fear. Number 3, examine how your children interacts with others. It's a given, obviously, to observe some of the children's behaviours and attitudes and whatever else around. So SAD will often make children extremely uncomfortable, even fearful of interacting with adults or even with their peers that are the same age group. Even just a simple conversation with a relative or playmate could cause them to cry, have tantrums, or even withdraw themselves from that situation. Your child may express, however, fear of new people and be unwilling to meet new friends or to go to social gatherings where there might be unfamiliar people around. They may also refuse or try to get out of participating in certain events that involves other people, especially in huge numbers such as field trips, play dates, or after school activities that they love to do, and now they've just withdrawn themselves out of it. In severe cases, however, the child may experience anxiety and similarly simple social interactions such as asking a peer pretty much to borrow a pencil from them, or even answering a question in the classroom or even in the storeroom. They may display symptoms of panic, such as the signs of also of these symptoms of panic will be heart palpitations, sweating, chest pain, shaking, nausea, shortness of breath, and dizziness, lightheadedness. So number 4, ask your child's teacher about his performance. Obviously, it's the given that sometimes when it comes down to their everyday performance in classrooms or whatever it may be, it's pays to pay attention. Children with SAD may have trouble concentrating or participating in class because they are terrified of being judged or just even failing for the sake of it. Activities that may require interaction or performance, such as giving a speech or speaking up in class, may be impossible for them to perform. Sometimes SAD can co-occur with other disorders, such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, your ADHD, or any other learning disorders that comes into effect. It is important to get your child evaluated by a medical or mental health professional so that you know exactly what the problem is and how to address it and actually maybe how to manage it. Number 5, consider the challenges of identifying SAD in children. It's well known given that obviously we need to recognise SAD in children that can be difficult as well as in adults, as I said before, since many children might struggle to express their own feelings and might act out in response to the fear. Children with SAD might have behaviour issues or might begin missing school in order to cope with SAD. In some children, fear associated with SAD might even be expressed through outbursts, anger, or crying, or some other mixed emotions. Last but not least, number 6, find out if your child is being bullied. It's a given that many children may feel withdrawn to all this of the SAD by just basically maybe they're being bullied or harassed at school. It could be the cause of the child's social anxiety, so basically it could also be making it worse for the harassment and bullying. So therefore maybe talk to your child, question them, how their day went, what's going on, how you can help them and whatnot. Since falling victim obviously to bullying is a major risk factor for developing social anxiety disorder or SAD, there is a good chance that your child may be dealing with some form of harassment at school or wherever. Talk to your child's teacher and any other adults who do watch your child around other children to find out if your child might be getting bullied and make a plan to intervene if need so. So this basically quickly ends part 4. Give me the like for thumbs up for support. Comment below if I've missed out anything. Feel free to share your stories or whatever it may be. Feel free to also follow me on my social media sites that I've got so far right now. feel free to also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Feel free to share these videos around, like I said, because these are the important ones, especially some other ones that I'm hoping to share with you all soon. So without further ado, guys, thanks for your support, thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out, and I'll see you all again soon. Ciao.